This is a message for Dorset Police and Norwegian Police to let you know that R.Johansen, my son's stepfather, who you can see here in front of you, and Anita Fevang, my son's mother, and my father, Dr. Galizia, are all fully responsible for taking my son hostage in 2014 and organising an international terrorist operation against us both with the express intention of covering up a huge catalogue of heinous crimes on behalf of themselves and other very dangerous, violent, murderous assailants. Now, the sole purpose of taking my son Benjamin Fevang hostage and terrorising him on a daily basis for the past 7 years has had two very clear express intentions. One, to suppress a particularly evil charity scam rife with rampant barbaric butchery, blackmail and international terrorism, as well as serial first-degree murder. And I remind you that this is fully supported with copious amounts of well-documented evidence. And I repeat that the first intention of taking my son hostage is very clearly to suppress a particularly evil charity scam that I have spoken about on many occasions, which very clearly operates a campaign of rampant barbaric butchery, blackmail, terrorism and serial first-degree murder. Now, the second very clear intention of taking my son hostage and threatening him on a daily basis in order to silence him and stop him discussing evidence that I myself have uncovered is to help Anita Fevang and co escape charges of attempted murder by her ex-boyfriend Dan Marshall, manslaughter of her father, GBH to a minor, organising international terrorist operations and perverting the course of justice. And I must remind you that several of these offences come with an automatic life sentence. Taking my son hostage with a clear the clear intention of suppressing and containing and blackmailing myself and my son and all the evidence that we have collected upon serious crimes comes with a life sentence. As does rampant barbaric butchery come with an automatic life sentence, and serial first-degree murder comes with an automatic life sentence. I therefore draw your attention to UK government legislation, which states very clearly in the Taking of Hostages Act, in paragraph 1, that a person, whatever his nationality, who, in the United Kingdom or elsewhere, A, detains any other person, brackets the hostage, and B, in order to compel a state, international governmental organisation, or person to do or abstain from doing any act, threatens to kill, injure or continue to detain the hostage, commits an offence. Now, I have heard on many occasions over the past 7 years via friends of the family and friends of my son that my son has been regularly threatened with murder and serious injury if he dares to contact me or utter one word about any of the evidence or any of the crimes that I just outlined to you. So I therefore suggest that this is a very serious criminal offence that comes with an automatic life sentence. Now, as I shall explain in a moment, and it also states very clearly here that in order to compel a state, organisation or person to do or abstain from any act. So if my son is being abducted with a clear view to suppressing evidence, blackmailing myself into silence in order to perpetuate crimes of barbaric butchery and serial murder, then this again very clearly comes with an automatic life sentence, as clearly stated here in paragraph 2. A person guilty of an offence under this Act shall be liable on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for life. And I repeat, any person guilty of an offence under this Act shall be liable on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for life. So I would like to demand at this point that my son is released immediately as a hostage, and the people responsible for these dreadful crimes against both myself and my son hand themselves into the police with immediate effect. It is R.Johansen and Anita Fevang and my father, Dr. Edward Litzia, that you hand yourselves into the police and admit the offences that you have committed, that you admit taking my son hostage, and you admit threatening and terrorising him on a daily basis for the past 7 years, with a view to covering up rampant barbaric butchery, blackmail, terrorism, serial first-degree murder, as well as with the express intention of helping Anita Fevang to escape a number of charges, including attempted murder, manslaughter, GBH, perverting the course of justice, and international terrorism. And I remind you again that the evidence that I have collected is substantial, copious, very clear, and extremely well documented, and very clearly in any court of law would be deemed beyond any reasonable doubt and acknowledged to be beyond any reasonable doubt, with a view to securing a conviction against all the people I have mentioned. So I demand again that my son is released as a hostage with immediate effect, and this blackmail and terrorism that has been going on now for 7 years is stopped immediately. And I would like to remind the police that they themselves, this is both the Norwegian and UK police, have been behaving in a manner that is entirely consistent on many occasions over the past 7 years, that is entirely consistent with assisting, aiding and abetting mafia-style terrorism, rampant barbaric butchery and serial first-degree murder. And I repeat that both the Norwegian and UK police have behaved in a very clear manner which is entirely consistent with assisting, aiding and abetting mafia-style terrorism, rampant barbaric butchery and serial first-degree murder. I therefore strongly suggest to the police that you stop supporting, condoning all this heinous crime and start considering upholding the law and holding these criminals to account for the extremely serious crimes that they have committed. And I would like to thank you for watching.